Hey guys, and welcome back to another video on my channel. Today we're going to look at the newest update or Devblog from Project M for the month May 2021. And this month I think doesn't need really that much of coverage because of the stuff that's in, because it's very simple, at least for the new stuff that came in. But there's one thing that should be highlighted in this month, and that's the security part of this update. So we're going to look at everything, of course, just to make it complete. But I just want to point out that security part because I think that's the thing that many people may have not noticed, or just because there were no pictures and not really new stuff and stuff like that, maybe didn't notice it. But it's very important, and even though it doesn't really add new stuff into the game, at least for playing, it still is very important and a huge step into the right direction for this game. But first things first, we have to look, as I said, at everything, and we're going to do it in the right order. So first up we have the mobile theme topic. One of the main feedbacks from the closed beta test is that the user interface was not easy to use on mobile. We decided to add a new mobile-oriented theme and can already show you a preview. It will be the default theme on mobile. The purpose is to make the game easier to play on mobile and tablets, but it is not planned to make it a mobile MMO by adding automatic use of potions and auto combat. Note that the design is from Flyff Legacy, but it might change before the release. What really matters is the layout and functionalities. So basically what they're saying is that nobody has to worry that it becomes like Flyff Legacy or like many mobile games with auto completion buttons and auto battle buttons and stuff like that. It's just the same design, but it doesn't work the same way, which they also point out again. And how it works, this is what we're going to look at right now. So this is pretty much just how it looks. It's, as they mentioned, borrowed from Flyff Legacy, pretty much. A little bit of change here and there, but very similar, of course. That's not really that important. Important is how it actually works out. But first we have more of the information stuff. I know it's a little bit cut off, but it's difficult to change the resolution of the pictures in between, because every picture has a different resolution in Discord when you open it. So yeah, but I'm going to read it out, so that shouldn't be a problem. First up we have the character preview, which is here, and if you click or press on it, then it opens the character window. Then we have buff information. Press the toggle the detail window, so there you can look at the buffs you currently have on your character, and you can toggle them on and off. Then you have the quest tracker here. Press a quest to open in the quest window. Press a go to show the position on, and the width is adjustable. Then we have on top of that quest window the HP MP FP information. Press the toggle the view, percentage raw value or no value. So pretty much like we have it in PC Flyff. Then we have the target information with element, level, name, HP and buffs. Then you have this small X to cancel the target, and then we have the party members right here. Level, HP, name and buffs. Press the targeted player and width is adjustable, which is pretty useful for buffing your fellow party members, because it's probably a lot easier to just click on the name here, on the small name, and if it annoys you, you can like make it really small. And yeah, makes it probably a lot easier to click on fellow party members. And then we have the party information. And if you click on top of that, then you can open the party window. So next up we have the so-called secondary menu. First up we have the Pang tutorial on the upper left corner. Press to open Pang menu, Pang help menu. Then next up we have the movement speed tab. Press the toggle walk and run modes, and it says walk or run. Then we have the duration tab, which is probably just J on Flyff PC. Then we have the quests menu, which you can also access by the shortcut as we looked at before. Then private shop and the toggle button to hide and show the secondary menu. Then we have the minimap, press to open the map window, session information, press to view information about the current session, general information, press to open the notice window, game settings, press to open the option window. Very self-explaining, I guess, nothing really to add here. Then you have the combo button, press to start a skill combo, which is just the action slot, and configure the combos in skill window. And then we also have the minimap settings, press to select things to show on the minimap. So if the minimap is too loaded for you, you can change what's shown there. Very simple stuff. And then we have also the damage meter inside the secondary menu. And that's pretty much it for the secondary menu. So next up we have the first really important thing, because it's not just about information, it's about combat. First things first, we have the chat preview. Press to open the full chat window, which is here, as we saw before on the main screen again. Then we have the inventory. Press to open the inventory window, and the experience bar shows the progress to the next level. And then it gets really interesting. Using an attack skill when the player doesn't have a focus but it targets very close, will automatically focus the target, which is pretty nicely, so you don't have to click on every single monster you want to attack when you're mobile or on a tablet or stuff like that. It's when you're standing inside like a huge bulk of monsters, which should probably be the case most of the time when you're like farming or doing stuff. Which basically means you just have to press attack again, and then you attack the next closest target, pretty much. Which I think is really cool, really useful, and should make the whole experience on mobile a lot better. Because clicking on every single, or like tapping on every single monster, would be probably really tiring and also annoying if you miss and have to click like once or twice or 3 times on the same spot to actually attack. And so yeah, that's very useful, I think. Then we have shortcuts, drag and drop items, skills, motions, emoticons and party skills, various locations on the screen, easily move or remove them. So you can choose yourself what you want to have as a shortcut, pretty much. So you like most useful stuff, like lollipop, food, items, skills, as it said. Then we have the main action, which is probably the most important button on the new theme. Press to do the action based on the current context, and then you can decide what you want to do. Jump, start, stop flying, loot items, trigger a lever, and attack, which is, as I said, pretty much the most important button, probably. So next up we have a lot more buttons. Fly button, press to equip and unequip the fastest flying item in your inventory. Motions and emoticons, press to open the motion window. We will get a small tutorial how to put motions into a shortcut right after that. And a cache up, press to open the cache up window, which, as said before, has like 2 buttons actually. Time information, ping, frame rate, date and time. Some small information down there. Then we have the button for the primary menu to press and toggle the primary menu, which we will also looking at right after this, and the direction pad used to move your character, which of course is also very useful. So next up we have like small tutorials which show us how the functions we were looking at before actually work in-game. First up we have the primary menu animation, which is just the small arrow on the lower left side of the screen, which we were looking at like seconds ago, and he's just pressing it, and I know it's cut off again. So enables the main menu, and the main menu currently has the character stat window, the skill window, messenger, guild, achievements, help, logout and quit button, which might get further or some things will probably get added in the future, I guess. So then after that we have the skill and item cooldown, which is very simple, I guess. Yeah. Then we have the put an emoticon as shortcut function, which is very cool. So you can just pull it out and put it into the slot. And then we have the messages animation, which means if you're entering a new area and stuff like that, then you always get this pop-up where you are right now, and that's the animation for that. Next up we have the buff window. So that's how it looks when you actually press on it and want to look at your current buffs, which is pretty simple, I guess, and most of the time you probably have it toggled off because it also takes a lot of space away if you have more than 6 buffs. Then we have the player and NPC menus, which will be looking like that, which is very cool design, I think. Quest icons, okay, damage numbers, character dialogue, option window, very much inspired by Flyff Legacy currently, of course, as they stated on top of the whole mobile changes. So yeah, I pretty much think they should leave it like that with because they said they might change it in the future. I think it's fine like that, because I think many people at least played for a few minutes, I guess, Flyff Legacy. So, and it's also a part of Flyff. So it's for those people who actually want to play most of the time on Project M on mobile. It would be they would actually know the theme and stuff like that. So it wouldn't be new stuff. They wouldn't have like new functions to learn. New designs, confusing stuff maybe if you're coming from Flyff Legacy. So I think it's actually pretty good that they chose to have it and not make their complete own. I mean, if they modify it to have a better fit for Project M or for the actual browser version of Flyff instead of like the real mobile version, I think that's fine. But overall the theme and general function, I think, should be like Flyff Legacy, but that's just my opinion, of course. And last but not least, we have the number input. We'll not show the keyboard anymore. And other windows, character, skills, inventory, etc. are still a work in progress and will be presented in the next Devblog. Next up is a new function, the frame rate selection. It is now possible to customize the game's frame rate from 15 to 240 FPS. It is highly recommended to select VSync, synchronization with the screen frequency, for an optimal experience as browsers are optimized for it. However, sometimes it's useful to set a lower frame rate to save battery. The default mode is now 30 FPS on mobile, which is pretty nice because I think many people over the course of time would actually enjoyed having those options to like put it individually, and yeah, I think it's pretty nice that they added it. Next up we have the improved map window. The map menu is more ergonomic. It's now a mix of the new menu hierarchy and the old buttons. A button can toggle the menu because sometimes it hides the left side of the map. So if you're having trouble locating something on the map because those buttons are in front of it, you can just press the toggle the menu button and then those buttons will hide again. If you click on those buttons, you can show a different map, of course. You can navigate to the parent menu from the top part. Whatever you clicked on before, you can like exit it again to the main menu. Then on top you have the newer version of the map, which can show you the NPC position and the monster information toggle button. And then we also have a video for that, which shows at least how the menu button works, which is on top again. And this one will show you, I will try to put it like that, how the menu button works. So let's play the video. So yeah, it's just flying in and out. Exactly. Now we're going into the achievements again. Added new achievement types, use item, playtime, levels, stats, etc. Added hunting achievements for Clockworks and Meteonica. There's also a summary view showing how many achievements you completed and how many achievements remain to be completed. More interesting rewards to come. So they pretty much added the existing food titles and stuff like that. and also be adding more stuff in the future and also more rewards. So currently you don't really have a reward for those food items except for the title. So for fooding 200,000 biscuits you get a titled Biscuit Addict, nothing else. Which is a little bit sad because 200,000 is a lot. But yeah, they said more interesting rewards to come, so we have to wait and see for that. Then we have the new Clockworks weapon models. The Roriet, Yo-Yo and Rollable Bow now have new models. The design was inspired by the Roriet Clockworks armor. So the last time we looked at those, they had the placeholders still. I posted an update into the comments of this of the last month's Devblog, in which I already shown these to avoid confusion, because I didn't say in the video that there were only placeholders, which I didn't know at the time of the recording. So yeah, that's how the real new Clockworks weapon will be looking like. Lastly, at least when it comes to the newly added stuff, we have the elevator platform in Darken. Station Almani is now on top of the flying station in Darken, which is the giant like airship which floats above the city. There's an elevator like in Florine, also improved the access to to ships all around Madrigal. So to the flying taxis pretty much and stuff, they improved the access. This is the new elevator, and this one is the new this is the new position for the station Almani in Darken, which you can see on the minimap is pretty much just in the center of the city, but of course it's above the city. And we finally made it to the security section of this Devblog, or of this month, which, as I stated in the beginning, is probably the most important update so far. It doesn't really add anything new for us players to actually play with, so it's not new content, no new functions or stuff like that. But although it doesn't add really anything, it's probably the most important thing they added so far, because firstly it's the topic that most people are probably interested in, because I think any Flyff version which ever existed always had a problem of people not playing according to the rules, trying to get around the system, trying to get a advantage over other people with programs or just with bug using and stuff like that. So people always tried to mess around with Flyff in the past, which is really annoying for people who actually enjoy and like the game. And I think those security updates and changes just make it a lot better for people. Also, I received a lot of comments back in the last few months about Project M, which all talked about this stuff. Like, how would the security be? Can they make it so nobody can duplicate items, nobody can bot use and stuff like that? And a lot of these questions are probably answered with this. Of course, this doesn't mean nothing can ever be messed up in the game, nothing can ever be used or something like that. I mean, bad people are always trying to find their ways, and they will, but this is definitely going into the right direction. And how it actually works out when there are like thousands of people on a server, we will see about that. But that's a good thing about Project M. They will always update it, increase the strength of the security and work on the game, except for other than our current version, which isn't really worked on at all. And if we ever get a security update and stuff like that, then it takes forever. So what are we looking at? Fixed items disappearing or duplicating when a server crash happens. Mail, trade, cash up, etc. So pretty much for all occurrences. Player stats are now frequently recomputed by the server. If a stat doesn't match the previous value, then the bug or stats stacking hack is reported. Implemented various additional checks relative to items, IDs, uniquenesses, skill levels, base stats, and level. Added additional checks for memory modification on the client side. And now the probably most important thing about those functions, which of course all sound nice, but you think like, okay, I mean, it's reported and stuff like that, but the guy still runs around with it until he's reported and catched or banned. But that's the part coming now. If one of the previous issues is found, the system will now disconnect the player and prevent it from connecting until the developer checks what happened. So pretty much if anything goes wrong in what way ever, the people which are affected by it, whatever happened and however it happened, will automatically get disconnected, and then someone has to look into it to check what happened, see if they're guilty or not guilty, if it was by accident or if it's just a random error or stuff like that, which is pretty cool. So nobody can actually mess around. I mean, of course, that's if this actually works, but if it does, then it's pretty much an automatic ban system in a way, but of course just for stuff that's happening right in the moment. So people normally would have to report someone like that. Some people running around with a level 50 character with 500 STR or something like that, which shouldn't be possible, and through stat hacking or something like that. People don't have to report people like that. It's getting actually automatically getting rid of those people. Even if it's just happening by accident and those people don't even realize it, then I guess it's bad luck, but it's better for the whole community if foul X gets sorted out automatically. And the next part is also very important. Added a new mode for game masters to hide the special mode's status and change name. Tools can detect that it's a GM, so they can pretty much go undercover into the community and the servers while still staying a GM. The public client is now built without any GM functionality inside the program. GMs will use a separate client to access the game, so nobody can get a hold of the GM functions. Added a new system tracking in real time for every item the total number of items present in players' inventories, bank, guild bank, or mails. Even penny and low value items are tracked. This allows us to generate graphics showing for a specific item, kind of item, Penya, the evolution of the in-game economy per hour, for instance. If the total count for an item is negative, it means there are more consumed items than items acquired in a normal way. For example, purchasing from the NPC, cash up, loot from monsters, etc. So there is a duplication issue somewhere, because more items are consumed that should exist. And the system also tracks how items are acquired and how they are consumed or deleted, which is useful in many ways, of course. Firstly, duplication. I mean, if there are more items than there should be, of course there's something going horribly wrong, and will be shown very quickly, so they can act very fast on that if something ever happens. And lastly, added encryption to game client static files, which also just makes sure nobody can get a hold of them, or at least it's a lot harder. And a small reminder, which was added afterwards, I think. Hacks on range attacks, blade attacks, and charged bow went don't work by design regarding the way they are implemented compared to Flyff PC. In Flyff Project M, the server has the authority and just sends the necessary information to the clients, so they can show an approximate view of what is happening. Positions, movements, dark illusion, invisibility, and collisions follow the same design. So you, the player, don't have every information that the server has. You're just giving the information, or at least shown what is happening, instead of giving you all the information, which only the server in Project M holds. Then we're actually through all of the new stuff which was added. As I said before, it's not really that much new stuff. It's probably the smallest update so far when it comes to like new content, redesigning of existing features and stuff like that. There was a small amount of that, but as I said in the beginning, I think it's still the most important update so far. Of course, there's nothing really exciting to show, no new functions to explain and stuff like that, which is a little bummer. But I mean, there's a new month coming up and exciting changes to be made in the future, and we can just wait for them. I mean, we have to. And still I think this is probably the most important update so far, because nobody likes to play Flyff when there's some people running around and destroying the game single-handedly on a single day. So that's very, very nice that they took care of that and also taking it very seriously, so they know, so we know that the actual concerns of the community are being heard, and that they take them very seriously and take measures against it. So now we're coming to the other changes. Several balance changes have been implemented, but they are all currently being tested and are in no way final. Information regarding exact balance changes will be in the next Devblog. So probably the second most important topic for most people is how they actually would change the dynamics when it comes to classes, because in Flyff PC, obviously there are classes which are way stronger in several fields and classes that are way worse. And balancing was a huge part of Project M in the last server testing, of course. There was a balance patch which tested out some new attack powers or different ratios on some skills and stuff. And we have no balancing in this patch, but it will be in the next patch or in the next Devblog, which will be really exciting of what they took from the feedback which was made in the last server test, and how they change classes accordingly. Guild Siege combat information is now logged in the database to be consulted after. Improve the camera angle when flying to see forward rather than angle down. Imported Guild Siege NPCs models from recent versions. Added a new logging system for bosses and giants. Changed Upgrade Stone Refresher Hood and Vital Drink duration to 1 hour, which is huge. So instead of 20 minutes, all of those items are running for 1 hour now, 60 minutes. When killing a flying monster and the inventory is full, or by killing a PK player, items will now stay in the air and players can loot by clicking on them. When starting a new quest, it will automatically appear in the tracker. Inverted the pinch gesture to zoom the camera on mobile. Changed the sensitivity of the direction pad when flying on mobile. Change the direction pad when moving the character on mobile. There's no dead center anymore. Touching the pad will always move the character in a direction. And lastly, they changed the bonus for wearing a set of upgraded items, as the magic power bonus was useless. So when upgrading a armor set, no matter which, you get bonus stats, as you probably all know, and they changed the magic attack power to actually attack power. So we have now, instead of magic attack power plus 5% on level 10, which is pretty nice, and I really like that. And then, last but not least, we have bug fixes. Fixed the white band hiding a part of the screen sometimes on iPad and iPhone. Fixed collision of a big object in Darken 1 factory. No idea what they're talking about there, but was probably very, very annoying when you leveled there. Fixed various synchronization bugs relative to HP, MP, FP and other stats. Fixed icons missing for some items. Fixed a bug where the player unequips the flying item when logging out while flying actively forward. Fixed all windows resizing and moving sometimes when the keyboard appears on mobile to type text. And fixed Clockworks Acrobat armor using wrong models. They were created after version 7. As you could see in the screenshot above already. And yeah, that was pretty much it for the Devblog of May 2021. As always, the link to the Discord and also the homepage, which is of course offline right now. So don't panic if you click on the link and this homepage is offline. Most of the time, while they are working on it, the homepage will be offline. But for any questions, assistance, feedback and stuff like that, you can always visit the Discord channel and have an active chat with some of the devs or moderators to see what is going on. And of course you can read everything which I just shown to you in the Devblog as well, and you can just be part of the Flyff Project M community. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, there's nothing really of a personal opinion to add here, because there wasn't really added that much new stuff, as I mentioned now for the third time. So Only thing I have to say is I like it. I like the security updates a lot, and I think it's important that they added them. I cannot say it enough, and I think it's totally fine that this month was like not really any big major new stuff, new functions like Party Finder or something like that. I'm totally fine with that when the game is actually being fixed in a sense. I mean, it's a new game, I know, but all the problems we have in other versions of the game, which were always a problem. I mean, since the beginning of the game, we had those problems since the last 15, 16 or even 17 years, and that they are now actually being taken care of is very, very pleasing. And maybe they will actually help to make Flyff PC as well better. But I think that's a false friend, you could say. But yeah, that's the update. I hope you enjoyed it. As I said, I also, if you're complaining now, you didn't do anything, you just read the content. Yeah, I know. But as I said, there wasn't really anything to explain here because there wasn't really new stuff added. But I just wanted to point it out for any people who didn't read it already, and to see that they take it very seriously with this project. And yeah, thanks for watching. See you later. Bye bye.